Henry VIII, the name alone evokes 1,000 images. He's a titan of English history. He's a king both revered and reviled. Ascending the throne in 1509, he was a vibrant young man of 18. Handsome and athletic, he embodied the ideal Renaissance prince. He excelled in sports, especially jousting and hunting. He was a skilled musician and composer. His court was a whirlwind of music, dancing, and feasting. Henry VIII was the embodiment of vitality, a stark contrast to his wary, miserly father, Henry VII. England embraced their young king. He represented a break from the austerity of his father's reign. He promised a return to the glory days of English monarchs like Henry V. The young Henry was popular, charismatic, and full of life. He seemed destined for greatness. Little did anyone know what the future held. The Golden Prince would one day transform into a tyrant. His reign would be marked by upheaval and bloodshed. His quest for power and an heir would change England forever. It would shatter the religious landscape of the country. It would lead to the deaths of some of his closest advisors and wives. The story of Henry VIII is a captivating blend of charm and ruthlessness, of love and tyranny. It is a tale that continues to fascinate us centuries later. Please subscribe to Enchant Minds and like the video. No aspect of Henry VIII's reign was more consuming than his relentless pursuit of a male heir. This quest was not just a personal desire, but a matter of national importance. He firmly believed that a son was essential to secure the Tudor dynasty and ensure its continuation for generations to come. Henry feared a return to the chaos and instability of civil war that had plagued England in the previous century, a period marked by strife and bloodshed. This obsession with securing a male heir would come to define his every action and decision throughout his reign. It would drive him to break with the Catholic Church, a monumental decision that would alter the course of English history. His desperation for a son would lead him to marry 6 times, each union driven by the hope of producing a male heir. Henry's first marriage was to Catherine of Aragon, a union that was initially seen as a strong political alliance. Catherine was the daughter of the powerful Spanish monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella, making her a significant and influential match. Catherine was 6 years older than Henry, but their marriage began with mutual respect and affection. She was a devout Catholic and a woman of considerable intelligence and strength, qualities that initially endeared her to Henry. The marriage initially seemed happy and promising, with Catherine being crowned queen and enjoying some years of stability and prosperity. Catherine's coronation was a grand affair, and the early years of their marriage were marked by hope and celebration. However, tragedy struck repeatedly. Catherine suffered multiple miscarriages and stillbirths, each loss a devastating blow to the couple and the kingdom. Only one child, a daughter named Mary, survived infancy, a fact that weighed heavily on Henry's mind. As the years passed, the pressure for a male heir mounted, creating an atmosphere of tension and urgency within the royal court. Henry became increasingly frustrated and desperate, his hopes for a male heir slipping further away with each passing year. He began to doubt the legitimacy of his marriage to Catherine, questioning whether their union was truly blessed by God. He sought an annulment, claiming that their union was cursed in the eyes of God due to her previous marriage to his brother. Henry believed that his marriage to his brother's widow was against biblical law, a conviction that fueled his determination to end the marriage. This set in motion a chain of events that would have seismic consequences, not just for Henry and Catherine, but for the entire nation. Henry's desire for a son would lead to a dramatic showdown with the Pope, a conflict that would shake the foundations of the Catholic Church. It would ultimately result in England's break from Rome, leading to the establishment of the Church of England and a religious reformation that would change the country forever. The saga of Henry VIII's 6 wives is one of the most dramatic chapters in English history. It is a tale filled with passion, power struggles, and heart-wrenching tragedy. Each marriage was a complex tapestry of love, politics, and ambition, woven with threads of hope and despair. Each ended in either annulment, divorce, or death, leaving a trail of broken hearts and shattered dreams. Henry's quest for an heir and his insatiable appetite for love and power consumed the lives of these women, altering the course of history. After his tumultuous break from Catherine of Aragon, Henry married Anne Boleyn, a woman who would change the kingdom forever. Anne was a woman of intelligence, wit, and ambition, qualities that both attracted and threatened Henry. She was also a Protestant sympathizer, which added a religious dimension to their union. Their marriage was controversial from the start, stirring unrest in both the court and the church. Anne refused to be merely a royal mistress. She demanded to be queen, a position she believed she deserved. She was crowned queen, but her reign was fraught with challenges and opposition. Their union and the subsequent birth of their daughter Elizabeth led to the English Reformation, a seismic shift in religious and political power. However, Anne's triumph was short-lived. The pressures of producing a male heir weighed heavily on her. Like Catherine, she failed to produce a male heir, a failure that would seal her fate. She suffered miscarriages and stillbirths, each loss a blow to her standing and her spirit. Henry, ever impatient and ruthless, turned against her, his love turning to suspicion and anger. He accused her of adultery and treason, charges that were likely fabricated to rid himself of her. Anne was imprisoned in the Tower of London, a place that had seen many noble prisoners before her. She was found guilty in a sham trial and beheaded in 1536, her life ending in tragedy. The demise of Anne Boleyn paved the way for Henry's marriage to Jane Seymour, a woman who seemed to be everything Anne was not. Jane, a quiet and demure woman, was a stark contrast to her predecessor, offering a sense of calm and stability. She was a devout Catholic, which pleased many who had been unsettled by Anne's Protestant leanings. She seemed to offer Henry the stability and domesticity he craved, a respite from the turmoil of his previous marriages. In 1537, she fulfilled Henry's long-held desire by giving birth to a son, Edward, securing the Tudor line. However, Jane's triumph was bittersweet. The joy of her son's birth was overshadowed by her own declining health. She died shortly after childbirth from complications, leaving Henry to mourn yet another lost wife, and the kingdom to ponder the cost of his relentless quest for an heir. Section 4. A King Divided, the Birth of the Church of England. Henry VIII's tumultuous love life was inextricably linked to a religious revolution. His marriages and affairs were not just personal matters, but had profound political and religious implications. His desire for an annulment from Catherine of Aragon brought him into direct conflict with the Catholic Church. This was not merely a domestic issue, but a significant challenge to the authority of the Pope. Pope Clement VII, under pressure from the Holy Roman Emperor, refused to grant Henry's request. The Pope's decision was influenced by political alliances and the broader context of European power struggles. This refusal marked a turning point in English history. It set the stage for a dramatic shift in the religious and political landscape of the nation. Henry, enraged by the Pope's defiance, decided to take matters into his own hands. His determination to secure an annulment led him to challenge the very foundations of the Catholic Church's authority in England. He broke away from the Roman Catholic Church and declared himself the supreme head of the Church of England in 1534. This bold move was both a political and religious declaration of independence. This momentous act, known as the English Reformation, had far-reaching consequences. It was not just a change in church leadership, but a complete transformation of religious practice and governance in England. It forever altered the religious landscape of England. The Reformation led to the establishment of new religious institutions and practices that would shape English society for centuries. Monasteries and convents, long seen as centers of wealth and papal authority, were dissolved. This dissolution was both a religious and economic strategy to weaken the power of the Catholic Church and enrich the crown. Their vast lands and riches were seized by the crown. This redistribution of wealth had significant social and economic impacts, altering the balance of power in England. Henry appointed his own archbishop. This move ensured that the highest religious authority in England was loyal to the crown, further consolidating his control. He demanded that all English subjects swear an oath recognizing him as the head of the church. This oath was a test of loyalty and a means to enforce the new religious order. This move was met with resistance. Many people were deeply attached to the Catholic Church and opposed the changes imposed by Henry. Rebellions, like the Pilgrimage of Grace, were brutally suppressed. These uprisings were a testament to the deep divisions and conflicts that the Reformation sparked within English society. The break from Rome was not simply a matter of politics or personal ambition for Henry. It was also a profound religious conviction that he was fulfilling a divine mandate. He genuinely believed in his role as defender of the faith. This title, originally granted by the Pope, took on new meaning as Henry redefined his relationship with the Church. He saw himself as God's chosen leader, responsible for guiding the English Church. This belief in his divine right to rule was a central aspect of his kingship. The creation of the Church of England was a defining moment in Henry's reign. It was a bold assertion of his authority and a redefinition of the relationship between the monarchy and the Church. It was a bold assertion of royal supremacy. This act of defiance against the Pope and the Catholic Church established a new precedent for the power of the English monarchy. It solidified his control over both the spiritual and temporal realms. The establishment of the Church of England was a testament to Henry's vision and determination to reshape the religious and political landscape of his kingdom. Section 5. The King's Bounty, a Life of Extravagance. Henry VIII lived a life of unparalleled opulence. He spared no expense in showcasing the power and majesty of the Tudor dynasty. His court was a spectacle of extravagance, a whirlwind of feasts, tournaments, and lavish entertainment. Henry saw himself as a Renaissance prince. He was a patron of the arts and learning. He commissioned magnificent palaces, including Hampton Court Palace, a testament to his wealth and ambition. He spared no expense in its construction, filling it with tapestries, paintings, and luxurious furnishings. Feasts were legendary events during Henry's reign. Tables would groan under the weight of roasted meats, exotic fruits, and elaborate sugar sculptures. The king's appetite was legendary. He indulged in vast quantities of food and drink. He kept a full court, requiring a small army of cooks, servers, and attendants to cater to their needs. These feasts were not merely about satisfying hunger, they were carefully orchestrated displays of power. They served as reminders of the king's wealth and his dominance over his subjects. Tournaments were another passion of the king. A skilled jouster in his youth, Henry delighted in these displays of martial prowess. He would often participate clad in elaborate armor, much to the delight and worry of his court. Tournaments were colorful and boisterous affairs. They served as a form of entertainment and a way for the king to demonstrate his strength and courage. Subscribe to @Enchant Minds and like the video for more content.